know it's not been a ton of defensive snaps yet. I think 40 for you so far. What's your feeling on how you've played on those snaps?
Honestly, regarding the snaps, like I can only control really two things. That's my attitude and my effort, right? So when I get out there, regardless of how many snaps I play, like I felt that, I'm still kind of settling in. I don't think I'm completely comfortable yet, so I'm definitely working on just being able to let loose and have fun. Because at the end of the day, I think that's the most important thing when you're talking about like success is just being able to kind of free flow, let loose. But I'm just grateful for the plays that I've been able to play, and the couple little half tackles and stuff I've been able to make. So it's definitely good to get my feet wet.
You called it a humbling a couple weeks ago, not so close to the NFL. What are your impressions after getting in a little bit into 2 games?
Yeah, I mean that doesn't change. Like at the end of the day, like I was a guy, at UM and even before, basically every level you go on, you're the best on your team and you play every single down. And when you get to the NFL, it's a whole bunch of guys who are the best on their team. So that doesn't change. Like it's always like every day is a competition, every day is humbling. But I feel like I'm starting to kind of find my ground. I definitely feel like I'm settling in. So.
Jaelan, but at UM too, like it wasn't. I mean, it's never automatic. Like you don't step on a team and become the guy in day one. You know that you've lived it. Is that tough to keep in the back of your mind too? That it's not supposed to be that way at this level. There is a learning progression. There's a learning curve.
Yeah, funny enough, it's actually not tough. It actually, if anything, is kind of more comforting. Just understanding that you have to be patient with yourself. Like at UM, I remember last year I got frustrated because after 4 games I had some TFLs and stuff, but I didn't have a sack and I really didn't have so much production. But as the season went on, basically 3 weeks after that I had like 6. So. Everything happens at the pace it's supposed to happen at. And so for me, I can definitely take comfort in knowing that I just have to be patient with myself and understand that, good things will come as long as I do what I'm supposed to do.
You mentioned the comfort level. How much of that are the added responsibilities of coverage versus if they just turned you loose and said, go get the quarterback, and that was it?
I mean, I don't even think it's so much a schematic thing as it is just the NFL. Like, there's a lot going on. Like, the schemes are more complex. I'm having that at a different. When I was at UM playing DN, I kind of didn't really have to worry about coverages. Like, kind of what's going on in the defense. It was more just all right, line up and go. And so the more that I'm having to know, obviously when you start thinking a lot, it kind of slows you down. And so I think it's going to be key for me to be able to prepare well enough and to feel comfortable with the defense and what my responsibilities are, so that when I step out onto the field, I don't have to think at all. I can just go.
Is the time missed during training camp, is that still a factor, or is it still in catch-up mode from there, or?
Like I said, I think I'm starting to get settled. I think at first, definitely just from a conditioning standpoint and from, kind of callousing your body, like I hadn't played football in almost a year at that point. So it definitely took me a second to kind of, get back into things, but I feel like I'm starting to get there for sure.
As far as pass rush moves that work in college, where are you now in the learning process that every NFL edge rusher rookie goes through in terms of determining which work in the NFL and which don't?
I think the biggest difference between the league and college is just the technique of everything and how, disciplined you have to be. Like, there's not a ton of guys in the league where you're just going to run around or you're just going to bully them. You have to be really tactical with what you're doing and very precise with your hands. I think that's the biggest thing, really, is handwork, like being able to be active. And guys aren't just going to let you slap their hand down and give up. Like, they're going to try to get hands on you again. And so it's just, being tenacious when it comes to rushing. And that's in all facets of the game, honestly. That's setting the edge. That's, pass coverage. That's everything. So.
I apologize even for asking this because there's no great way to answer it. But how could you describe how much smarter you are today as you were a year ago? Just all the things you've had to learn at this level. Is there a way to quantify the difference between what you knew then and what you know now?
Yeah, I mean, my football knowledge has definitely increased. I didn't even know what cover 3 was last year, so I definitely have learned some more. And just being able to know other people's responsibilities as well as my responsibilities and kind of how it fits in the schematics of the defense. So I definitely think that a year ago today, I definitely wasn't as smart as I am now, and a year from today, I'm going to be 10 times smarter. So it's just all about growth. It's all about persevering and being able to take the criticism and really just build upon what you want to do.